When you look for advice online or you come across the self-improvement and self-help world, you will hear just focus on yourself a lot. It's a piece of advice that's given so much, almost like it can solve any problem that you face. And in many cases, it is very helpful. Especially if you're someone who has low self-esteem, then self-care and development is very important. But what you don't hear, not nearly as much, is that excessively focusing on yourself comes with serious issues. In a time where we're already obsessed with becoming perfect because of these standards set by social media, and when we're already encouraged to chase success in our lives, we end up neglecting what truly matters, and that is our connections with other people. We are social creatures, and we need meaningful bonds to keep us going, or at the very least to stop us from going crazy with loneliness. But the problem is that when you're encouraged to only focus on yourself, to keep your head down and grind, you end up losing touch with other people. Your ability to empathize and connect diminishes. You're too busy planning and working on your goals to properly experience the fulfillment and joy of healthy human connection. The reality is that you'll grow more by focusing on yourself and others instead of excessively focusing on yourself. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the issues that come with focusing on yourself too much and how you can avoid them. It's not hard to see that our society has a strong fixation on the self, showing how great we are on social media, taking selfies, bragging about personal achievements, and becoming the perfect version of yourself. It seems like personal success and vanity is valued more than anything else. And I don't think that this would be a big problem necessarily if we were also taught to focus on developing our connections with people too. But that isn't something that we're taught in schools, nor are we encouraged to do it. Unless you actively search for advice on developing your empathy or improving relationships, you're not going to find it. And why would you want to when you feel like there's no need? When you feel like you are now self-sufficient? So what happens is that you end up neglecting social connections. And it isn't surprising then that when you do try to reach out and talk to people, maybe because you've gone so lonely from focusing on yourself, that problems do come up. You struggle to understand other people's points of view, which makes them feel unseen or ignored. You don't understand their emotions because all of that work you've put into yourself and becoming the best version of yourself, none of it actually translates into emotional intelligence and social skills. It's easy to underestimate just how important relationships are for our well-being when you're only focused on the one that you have with yourself. Now, another problem is that when you do focus on yourself and you do make positive changes to your life, you may start to feel like you don't need anyone else. That you don't need any help because you've gone through so much and you've overcome obstacles on your own. Now that may sound empowering and great, but in reality it just isolates you even more, and it's actually kind of delusional. Because no matter how strong, no matter how smart or resilient you are, there will always be someone out there who can help you when you're in need or simply support you to better yourself. And if you think about it, if you're on self-improvement or any type of journey, you are literally learning from other people. Every book or article you read, every video you watch is the wisdom of another person. And just because the people around you are not all established authors or YouTubers, doesn't mean that they can't support you or offer you valuable advice too. Now, of course, it's not just about being helped by others, it's about helping others too. Because in helping other people, you help yourself. All that information that you've learned, all the knowledge you've gained, and the wisdom you have now can be used to help other people, to give them advice and to develop your connections with them and make them happy. And this is one of the greatest joys that you can have in life. And it's a joy that you'll be missing out on if you only focus on yourself. I am not saying that you shouldn't prioritize yourself or that you need to go out and make loads of friends all of a sudden. What I am saying is that the time and effort you put into yourself should also be balanced with forming quality relationships and developing them too. It's not about going out of your way to please people and neglecting yourself in the process. It's about forming quality relationships where there's mutual respect and understanding, and you're both bettering each other's lives. It shouldn't feel like it's forced in any way, because we are naturally meant to have these connections as humans. And that is exactly why, no matter how much you develop yourself on your own, you will feel like something is missing. I have found that developing your ability to empathize with people is the best thing that you can do here. It's empathy that makes us human. The ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and try to understand what they are feeling in a certain moment. Not only does this massively help your relationships, but it also stops you from being called one of the most common buzzwords nowadays, which is a narcissist. Because when we think of an actual narcissist, they are incapable of empathizing with others, as they only care about their own needs. Nobody wants to be like this, and nobody wants to come across as self-centered or arrogant, but funnily enough, excessively focusing on yourself can easily set you down this path. Empathy is the best way for you to avoid this, because it typically involves having genuine bonds in order to develop it. It means that you're able to place all of your focus on another person and connect on a much deeper level. This will bring you a joy that you can't get from being alone, provided that the person you're connecting with isn't toxic, of course. So overall, don't ignore just how important those quality social connections are for your well-being. I know it's easy to go down this rabbit hole of focusing on yourself because you've heard all of that advice and now you're just grinding and isolating. But what you'll find is that you develop yourself even more by having those quality connections. And to be clear, it doesn't have to be many people. Even just a few loved ones can enrich your life greatly. This is how we are meant to live as humans. Do not simply focus on yourself without experiencing that fulfillment of those connections. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and find it helpful. And if you did, subscribe for more. I'll see you in my next video.